dancing. Hello, interwebs. I'm dancing and coughing. And soon I'll be your review. And this is...
Don't forget to hack and wheezing.
You know, I like to mix it up a little bit. This is the F3G2, where I talk about comical books that you've already read and decide that you don't care about what I think of them, you heartless bastard, while standing in the glorious treasure trove, the dragon's hoard that is the office at the back of Famous Faces and Funnies, the F3, while you watch this on Gonna Geek, the G2 on the interwebs. All of this glorious crap could be yours if you friend Famous Faces and Funnies on Facebook. That's a lot of F's. Friend Famous Faces and Funnies on Facebook. Fuck. And if you watch Monday nights, they do all sorts of assorted crap. Thursday nights, they do usually themed assorted crap. And Friday nights, they do all comics and trades. But it's one of those, you know, they'll come up and you'll say item B, Joker figure, $20. You say B, Joker, or B, 20, and boom, it's yours. There's no haggling, there's no whatever. It's just you know, this is the price. You claim it or you don't. Doodly doodly doo. He's got a hyena. So that's my ad for the day. Also, feel free to, if you don't like watching me, just ramble on about comic books I've read, and you want to have more heated, nerdy discussions about various things. Feel free to. I guess you don't watch them. I guess you listen. Listen to any of the podcasts on Gonna Geek, which is really what Gonna Geek is about. It's about geeks podcasting. So really, it should just be
the main one
GPC.
has a show too.
I think there's a show of the podcast. It's just them in like split screen with headphones on, which just they're not gonna geek. It should be called Our Geek. It could be Our Geeking because they're not gonna. They're doing it.
With a passion.
All right, let me review some of these comical books so you can go listen to something cooler than me, like the sound of your ceiling fan or a toaster. Yeah, whatever makes a noise. Return of Wolverine #2. Well, guess who's back? Wolvie's back. He doesn't remember anything. Which, if he could remember it, he'd be bored because he'd realize that's pretty much his shtick.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm the best there is at what I do. I don't know what it is I do. He kills Daken and goes, I think I knew him. But yeah, he fights Daken. Because I think I knew him. I don't seem to understand at this point what's up with Daken in the Marvel Universe. He seems to be a good guy or a bad guy, depending on not any actual reason or plot device, just based on who wants to use him as what at any given time. So that's just odd. His claws get hot now. And while he doesn't know if that's, while he doesn't remember stuff, he does think that's a bit odd because he's like, hey, you ever hear anything about my claws getting hot? Even to the point where when they're in his arm, you can see the burn through the skin or whatever. So, I don't know, but he's back. By the end, the importantness, which is, while playing with Cerebro, Jean's like, what is it, Jean? I don't believe it. Kitty, I just found Logan. Next cover is, X-Men looking all Barry Windsor Smithy. And Wolverine's hot claws going, yeah. Sleepwalker #2. They tricked me. I wasn't going to read any of those Infinity Warps because I don't care. But I like Sleepwalker, and I like Todd Knock. So I'll read a Sleepwalker book drawn by Todd Knock, because duh. But he's dealing with all the Infinity Warps. But I was writing this because I don't know who Chad Bowers and Chris Sims are. I don't know who you magical pixies are, but I sure do like your magical pixie drink. He's got some interesting mashups, such as the Atom and the Hulk are called not the Atom. Ant-Man and the Hulk are little monsters. His name is Little Monster, and he shrinks but gets super strong. And he's a member of his enemy instead of the leader. He's called the Headman, and he's giant green head. Gets a bit mushy. Whatever, it happens. but he's a member of the Thunderbolts, which is Janice Jones, Beetle, Melissa Morley, Poltergeist, not Ghost, don't be silly, and Bullseye, S-A-I, a mashup between Bullseye and Elektra. So she may just kill herself randomly. Whatever. So you got them going on. And that's pretty cool. And the Hulk is inside. I mean, the Abomination's inside somebody's head. I think the head man's head. And it's fun, but it's funny. And in the end, they call in to hunt down. Who do you hunt down a rogue sleepwalker with? Rick Fury, Agent of Sleep.
Oh, God.
So, it's a thing that happens. Let's see. Wonder Woman may or may not be dead in this latest tie-in to...
I'm leaning toward dead.
The
Looking
The Witching Hour, Part 4. I'm leaning towards not dead because I know there's another couple parts to this, and she has an ongoing, and is a member of the Justice League, so no.
Yeah, because zombies aren't a thing.
It had Black Orchid. Black Orchid makes me happy. Action Comics 1004. The complete reunion of Lois and Clark. Bendis is a dirty cheater. Yeah, they're back, and they're still in love, and they're still a couple, and they're still married. But despite the fact that, I get why he's doing it, and, he does it well to a degree. I mean, there's some super sex going on. But I feel we've been bamboozled. I feel we've been cheated. So she's like, let's be clear. We're not breaking up. We just need the whole... What made the New 52 ending and Rebirth really working, the linchpin of it was the Lois and Clark.
Well,
The Superman books were great. Lois and Clark were perfect. The addition of Jonathan, them as a super family, was a fresh take on the thing that people keep saying, oh, it's hard to write Superman books. How do you make them fresh? They'd done it. They nailed it. It was perfect. Now, suddenly, Lois is just like, you have to save the whole world, and I feel I need to write this book, so we need, we can be together apart. She's got an apartment, and he's got one. So they're, like, not even actually separated. They're like, somehow they're like married friends with benefits. I don't know. Separated spouses with, they're still in love. They're just taking some time apart. I'm hoping it's not too long apart. I know in January, Jonathan's going to come back, and I want my super family. I don't understand why these characters get married. People always seem to think, you can write these fresher angles. I mean, don't get me wrong, Bendis' stuff has been great, but I don't understand why this was a particular thing. Well, I'm going to tweak with this. Why? It was literally one of the best parts of everything that led up to this. And I don't just mean best part in, so it's been done. I mean, best part is it was part of what was literally fixing the New 52, what the New 52 had done to the DCU. Meanwhile, on the opposite note, Amazing Spider-Man is going the opposite way and is finally fixing these stories. They're so great. Nick Spencer is great on Spidey. He's got the little the little touch, and it's nice to have again these more personalized story, and once again we've got Spider-Geddon, which I'll get to later. It's nice to have this more personal neighborhood Spidey and all. So it's him and MJ trying to have a date, but the Avengers are being robbed, and the Avengers are all mad at Spidey because of everything that went down with Parker Industries, where he had to basically fuck everybody over in order to save the world, and that's what Peter does. He says, well, then everyone will have to hate me because I'm saving the world. And sure enough, everyone hates him, including a bunch of fucking Avengers who should just put on their big boy and big girl panties and get over it, because they all know that exactly those choices are like on an everyday basis. And I don't see why they have, I can't believe Peter Parker screwed us all over. Spider-Man fucked us all over. You know damn well why. Get over it. He's on the phone with Cap, and Cap's like, he's like, Cap's talking to him, so he's like, we need you, we need all the Avengers. And Spidey's like, okay, well, good. He goes, although I should tell you, aside from you, I think everybody hates me. And Cap's like, it's not just aside, it's not aside from me. And it's like, look, former head of Hydra, fuck you. Mm-hmm. Detective Comics. really interesting little character-driven story. This is who's right? And James Robinson. So of course everybody likes James Robinson and Carmine Di Giandomenico, who used to be on Flash, because everybody knows a Carmine in the DC, an artist named Carmine in the DC universe is worth having. But this is basically Two-Face. It's not Harvey. Don't call me Harvey, or I won't even help you. But it's Two-Face trying to explain. Look, not every bad thing I've ever done was the Two-Face half of me. Harvey's kind of a dick, and not every good thing I've ever done is just Harvey. I may be, psychotic and whatever, but I am human and I have my moments. And now he's working with them on a bigger case, for his own reasons. He's like, don't get me wrong. He's like, I'm doing this for my reasons. But nonetheless, it's a very interesting look into the world of the Two-Faces. Spider-Geddon #2 makes me worry that one of my books that I was liking that they canceled is not going to end well for everybody, because that's what they do to multiple dimension spiders. They already killed some fan favorites in #1. Now, one of the things that's pivotal is they meet up with the spider family from Renew Your Vows.
Oh.
And it turns out that, actually, is that in this or is that in this? Is that in Spider-Girls? It's hard to say. Yeah, that's in Spider-Girls. All right. Too many spider books at one time. So this one, you get the return of the family. Everybody's killing everybody. Out of solidarity, admittedly it is his fuck up, but out of solidarity, Doc Ock gets rid of his Superior Doc Ock outfit, goes back to Superior Spider-Man, because as he says, when the female Dr. Octopus, that's a hero from one of the other worlds, she's like, Spider-Bots? I thought you used Octobots and called yourself the Superior Octopus. I did, but that identity has baggage. And this is a war, and this war is one of spiders, is it not? Thus I've decided the time is right for the return of the Superior Spider-Man. The die is cast. And he goes back to that, this is for the spiders. This isn't an octopus war. He's in it. He's trying to, in his own way, Doc Ock is he was trying to be a hero in his own Doc Ock way, and he fucked things over. And now in his own Doc Ock way, he's trying to fix it. So he's flawed with noble intentions. Oh, they end up in the video game world. While Ock recruits Kane, and Ock's like, no, I don't want any help from Ben Reilly, because he's done some fucked up shit lately. But it's his tech that they're using. And Ben hears them and is like, using my tech over Mike's 27 times dead body, and goes flying through to help out. It's in this one, Spider-Girls, that Mayday and what's her name? Aranya?
Arachne?
Yeah, but what was her real name? It's Anya. Anya Corazon. So Anya and Mayday go through and end up in this world that somehow has been untouched. It hasn't been found, and that's because it's part of the Secret Wars world. And technically, this world didn't exist until after Spider-Geddon, so they may not even know it's there and be attached by a thread. So this world becomes important, but Anya's got some issues because she saw her dad killed, and now here's a not her daughter being raised by Peter and a super heroic MJ, and it's a bit much for her to take. But then it's also a bit rough for Mary Jane of this world, because it turns out that the daughter they had and lost before Annie Mae Parker was born was May, that they called little baby May, that they called Mayday. I think being from the story where in the main universe where they'd had a kid and then the kid just was written off and kidnapped and disappeared, and they just kind of never got back. I think in this she died, so that's kind of cool. Well, not the death of a child, but the comic book itself is kind of cool. Redneck deals with some issues that you wouldn't expect from rednecks or from vampires. Basically, the one vampire comes out as gay to his dad, and his dad's like, look, I've been your dad for 70 years. I kind of knew. I was waiting for you to go. And Dad's cool with it because, hey, we're fucking vampires.
whatever.
It's hard to judge, petty shit like, sexual preference when we're basically undead beasts of the night.
Monsters, yeah.
Whatever. But it was still, what was interesting is just, it's Donny Cates, and Donny Cates, can write. He's a favorite of this store. Everybody here loves Donny Cates. And only Donny Cates, I think, could pull off in the middle of this, like, vampires versus rednecks versus other vampires kind of war scenario that's going on in there, suddenly just having this very typical, very human coming out speech and this kind of father-son bonding. It's not... This isn't the this isn't the typical venue for that, and I think that's what makes it great. Terrifics, number 9 is, dare I say, terrific. With a twist that threw me at the end. I'll spoil it for you in a little bit. So we've got... It's Terrifics, it's obvious. It's designed to be like DC's Fantastic Four. We get that. They're not even ashamed of it, and they own right on it because the guy they're fighting is Dr. Dread, who looks a lot like Dr. Doom and has Dread droids, I think is what they're called. I don't think they're just Dreadbots, but like Doombots, so they fight... where do they... There's a page where they call them whatever they are. And they're like, oh, it's a drone. It's a dread drone. The dread drones. And so you've got the whole Terrifics cast and the whole Tom Strong cast. And in the end, as they're fighting one of the drones, Mr. Terrific is like, I've run through all the possibilities in my head, Rex, and I keep coming back to the same conclusion we've been had. And I think I finally know who Doc Dread really is. But then it cuts to, spoilers in 3, 2, 1, it cuts to, what the heck's her name? Stag's daughter. Rex's girlfriend.
Yeah.
And she walks down and finds Java. What? Java, the Neanderthal, the super intelligent Neanderthal, is Dr. Dread, and he's just messing with them, mostly as part of his method, technique number 4,978, to get Rex Mason out of the way so that he can have, I forget what Stag's daughter's name is, so this was really, really good, and there's also a nice little bit where, Tom Strong is a super genius, smartest man in his world, and he's got his whole family, and everything's about family. In comparison, he's they see his base, and you see how family-oriented it is, but then you get to Mr. Terrifics, and he's looking at me, he's like, so Michael, he goes, this is a big place. He's like, where's all your staff? He's like, I have no staff. I stay here alone. He goes, family? He goes, no. He goes, I don't have time for that. That would just interrupt my... He goes, you must get lonely. He goes, I'm not lonely. I have my work. And you can see that Tom Strong, and clearly the reason they chose Tom Strong for this is Tom Strong and Michael Holt are like the heads and tails of the same coin. X-Men Red continues to have Nightcrawler with a beard, but he's called Fuzzy Elf. His entire body is covered with fur. The idea of him having a beard is still ridiculous. Ridiculous. Makes me nuts. I suppose, on the one hand, this is how I get myself through, as I look at these things and go, hey, sometimes you get those artists who draw the tattoos on the weird, like, scarring tattoos like he had in X-Men the movie. So at least they're not doing that. But a fuzzy elf, in order to grow a beard, that would literally mean he is just letting his face grow out and only shaving his cheeks, forehead. It makes no sense. Shaving his neck and the entire rest of his body, he is shaving down. He's taking out one of those, I'll take out my little electric shaver, set it to 2, and do everything but my chin, my whole body. It's just weird. That said, Jean gets the ultimate mindfuck off on Cassandra Nova, and the day is partially saved, and now they got to contact Atlantis because they're going to war, which is weird because, as we know over in the Avengers book, Namor's just turned douchebag and apparently killed Stingray, and now in the Invaders, his original allies of I think the original Human Torch and Cap and Bucky are going to have to come together and try and undouchebag Namor. And the final book on my list for today is the Robert Kirkman, I Will Not Solicit This, You're Just Going to Have to Trust Me, and Chris Burnham classic, Die, Die, Die.
Fun title.
It's brilliant, and it's like, it's Robert Kirkman doing his,
Kirkman-y thing.
he's trying to do, no, he's not even doing his Kirkman-y thing. He's doing more of a, this is like Robert Kirkman going, I could do something in the vein of like, Warren Ellison, right? Sure. And, Warren Ellis.
Warren Ellis.
Yeah, I added a son there. But, this is him going, yeah, I could be Warren Ellis. I could be, but I could do something in that vein. And, it's somehow still very Kirkman, but also you could see, okay, I mean, it's not like Kirkman's been known to, hold back in any of his books either. But basically, there's a group of, 5, 7 Asian brothers. They're twins, but they all became like super ninjas, and now some of them have gone native, some of them have gone rogue, some of them have gone side of the angels. But one of them has killed and replaced one of them, and everyone's trying to figure out who's who. And it's all political thriller meets super spy, ninja, superhero. One guy actually has the power. If this isn't like a tip of the hat that makes, even Warren Ellis is like, I like that. One guy has the power to, when he says rhubarb pie to you, you end up shitting your pants uncontrollably. When he just walks up, and people just shit themselves. He says it. He knows it in like a bunch of other languages. At one point, he says it in I don't even remember what language. And he goes pastel de rhubarbo, and he's like, Sesame Street is fucking global, motherfucker. So he can say rhubarb pie, and in multi languages, and get you to shit your pants, which is a great distraction getaway technique if someone is horribly crapping themselves. And
And it was the main weapon he used in Transmet.
I'm out of stuff. So you guys are on your own. Remember, friend Famous Faces and Funnies on Facebook, and you can frequent the fucking
FFFF.
There's no F way for it to say auction. So you can just you watch the auctions, bid on stuff, get some cool stuff. $8 shipping, they'll send you pretty much everything you get, unless it's like something oversized. But otherwise, you win one thing, you win 20 things. It's all $8 to ship it. And watch those podcasts on Gonna Geek, because they've got to be more interesting than me. It'd be hard. They could literally discuss changing the light bulb, and it would be cooler than just watching my fat ass talk about cops. I'm so sad. No, I'm not. I'm okay.
Phone books.
I own who I am. Go. Why are you still listening to me? Get the hell out of here.